Hello, everybody. Welcome. I hope this message finds you doing well. I get asked a lot about what books do I read. I do a lot of reading. For those of you that know me, I read 10 pages a day, and it's become a habit I've done for now over the last almost 2 years, coming up on 2 years. Last year, I read 18 business books. In 2018, I'll end up reading about 20 to 21 business books, depending on how much we get done here at the end of the year. But, so I get asked a lot. And so what I want to do is I wanted to share 2 books with you from 2017 that were great, and I wanted to share 2 books with you from 2018 that I found to be great. That first book in 2017 was Relentless by Tim Grover. Tim Grover, for those of you that may not know who that is, he is a performance coach both mentally and physically. And what made Tim Grover the man he is today, which is kind of ironic because when you ask Michael Jordan says what made him the man he is today is by having Tim Grover as his coach. So if you want to read a book that talks about Relentless and what it takes to be great and what it takes to be one of the greatest of all time, really, he worked with Michael Jordan. He's worked with Dwayne Wade. He's worked with Kobe Bryant and many others. But those are the ones that really stuck out to me when I read the book to talk about what it takes inside and mentally to be great. The second book I read last year, that's really one of my favorite books of all time, if not the greatest book I've ever read, and I read it every, probably a couple years, is The Rhythm of Life. A good friend of mine, Matthew Kelly, wrote The Rhythm of Life. And when you think about life, it talks about getting in sync in multiple areas of life. So talking about spiritually, where are you at? What's going well? What's not going well? Physically, emotionally, intellectually, from a relationship standpoint, financial standpoint, a business standpoint. All 7 of those areas of your life, what's going well and how do we get in rhythm of that? So if you've not read The Rhythm of Life by Matthew Kelly, I would highly recommend it and do that. The 2 books I want to share something with you from 2018 is this book right here, Essentialism by Greg McKeown. So he talks about, the things to think about, and I've actually journaled quite a bit about this, but what am I deeply passionate about? What taps my talent? So I believe, my business partner Tim Hammett says this all the time, we have something that we're uniquely qualified to do, or what is your brilliance? And so what taps my talent? What is it that you do that not many other people in the world can do? So when you match that with what you're deeply passionate about and what meets a significant need in the world, that's when greatness can happen. And so that's what he talks about here. It says we aren't looking for a plethora of good things to do. We're looking for the one where we can make our absolutely highest point of contribution. So I thought that was worth sharing for Essentialism. And the next book is Living with the Monks by Jesse Itzler. I'm actually going through a coaching program right now with Jesse where we talk every week for an hour, and just a lot of great stuff. Jesse's a guy, he also wrote the book Living with the Seals. He hired an actual SEAL to come into his house and really shock the system and what he does from a physical standpoint and what the mind and the body can go through. He talks about really when you think you're done, it's almost clinically proven, I believe, that when you think you're done, you're actually only 40% of the way there. So what we tell ourselves actually starts to happen. So be careful when we tell ourselves we're done, we're not done. But he talks about in this book, it says, remember tomorrow. He was climbing a mountain and he wanted to quit, right? A lot of us would want to quit. It's very hard. It was very cold. It was just a brutal task that he had to go out and do, and he wanted to quit. But he said, remember tomorrow. There was a voice inside his head screaming. It just kept saying the same thing over and over and over. Remember tomorrow, remember tomorrow, remember tomorrow. It's one of those mantras that he lives by. It's the way that he beats up the bully in his head. And in that moment, he knew he had to remember how tomorrow was going to feel if he pulled the ripcord too soon and went home. Instantly, everything changed. So when you come to a point, you have to make a decision. Remember how that choice will make you feel tomorrow. And he goes on to talk about if you want to quit a marathon at the 18th mile, fine, you can go for it. You can do that. But remember how that's going to make you feel tomorrow when you're left alone to think about it. Okay? So no matter what it is that we want to go out and do, there's going to be times when we want to quit. There's going to be times when we want to give up. But I think it's really time to really dig deep, find out what's important to you, know that you can keep going, and remember tomorrow.